Hello, everybody. Welcome to XPlicit Materia, the podcast where a nerdy drummer talks with friends, old and new. And today is one of those new friends because this is the first time we're actually meeting in person. Because this gentleman has been following me on my live streams, and I don't know how we met, is either Instagram or whatnot, but he's just been a constant supporter, and it's just been so fun every week. And I'm like, you know what, he needs to come on my podcast because he is also a content creator, like a bulwark of a content creator. He's a musician. He's got a Spotify. He's got a Twitch. He's an animator. He's an artist. He's he's just got so much stuff, and it's all great. It's so funny, and like I need to have him on. So here he is. Everyone, please welcome Brinnstar.
Hi.
How's that intro? Is that intro good?
It's an honor, man. I've been following your stuff for a little while. I saw you on TikTok, and I was like, I try to follow like all like musicians and cover artists and things like that, especially video game stuff. And I was like, this is awesome. And you're like, you had a live, and I'm like, yeah, I gotta be there. And it was just really fun and really positive, and it just was like, I just kept coming back, and now it's like part of like, oh, it's Monday, when's Shane on?
I greatly appreciate it. I really do. And then I checked out your stuff, and I'm like, wow, this guy's got really good animation and also really good music. Like, you can't be both. You can't be like both good musician and good at writing songs and also a great animator. You can't do both. That's cheating.
Well, yeah. I mean, okay, I'm going to pull the curtain back a little. I'm like a sample artist. I don't know how to play the tune or do whatever. It's all samples and stuff. But
however someone writes music, because I've been down the musician path, and I've dealt with DJs as well as actual musicians who can really, really play their music. And like writing music is a different beast altogether. And it doesn't really matter how you write it, as long as because the point is you're creating something out of nothing. Yeah. I mean, in some sense, or you're creating something out of something, but I don't know. It's just, it's the art of creation, and it's evolved since it was back in, how olden times where you had an acoustic guitar or a fiddle, but
like music samples have always been like really fascinating. Like as a kid, I hooked up my GameCube to my computer, and I ripped all the Smash Brothers sounds, and I just had them to have them for no reason at all.
Dude, that's awesome. I didn't even know you could do that.
I had a Frankenstein. It was before stuff even made sense. It was like the old Mac days. I had, oh my gosh, it
was like Linux. You got a computer just.
Oh, it was like an old, like back in the day, the Mac PC wars. How like, hey, I have a PC, and if you said you had a Mac, people would like.
That's so true. So, did you start as an artist before you were kind of worked into the the music realm? Did you start with animation first or music first? Or do they all kind of just...
I used to like run with a group of friends that were like all artists, and I drew like once or twice a month. So not like a whole lot, but I doodled like here and there. And then I spent like a lot of my 20s kind of like doing the con circuit with a bunch of like just friends and stuff. And I didn't really like draw a whole lot. And so, but like TikTok came around, and I was testing how, like, I've been in marketing for like 13, 14 years, like as a graphic designer. And so I have to know about social media and stuff, and I have to be on top of stuff just because because I'm a nut. And people started talking about this thing called like TikTok, and I'm like, okay, people won't shut up about this.
Dude, same.
What is this? So I had to get under the hood, and I started just recording stupid videos, and one went like really viral, and it was the dumbest thing I ever made. And I was like, well, if I want it to go viral, I want it to be for something I made, not like, oh, I gotta look at this thing.
But isn't that how it always works? Like,
oh yeah.
I talk to all different sorts of artists and musicians and whatnot, and they're just like, it's always their most popular thing is always something that they didn't even think about, didn't even work hard at it. They just like put it out there into the universe, and sure enough, for whatever reason, it took off, and it had has a life of its own.
Oh yeah. And so, but from there, I started, I was like, you know what? I want to be better at art, because I'm not, at the time I was fine. It wasn't really where I wanted it to be. And I'm like, this is a good excuse to kind of like draw all the time and like just kind of build something together. And I kept going, and I kept like, I started with sketches, then I was like, can I put more time into like, maybe I could like color it, and like, this looks good, but can I put more time into like inking it? Like, this looks good, but can I like color ink and shade it? And so it just kind of like, I kind of optimized myself to where it looks, it's like sketched, inked, color, shaded, and I'm like, screw it, the whole thing.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That like, did that happen? When did that happen? Like, when did that start really start?
2019.
Oh wow,
2019.
So pretty recently.
I have like a full compilation on my YouTube channel. I have all of my 2019 stuff, which is like 30 minutes of stuff I've done, and then 2020, which is 30 minutes, and 2021 is 49 minutes. And that's all my animation. There's no breaks. Oh, and then about like music. Okay, so music. I've always been interested in music, and I started playing with this game on the PlayStation 2 called, I don't remember what it was, but it was like you took samples and mixed stuff. And I'm like, this makes sense to me. Like, I have no rhythm at all. I can't rhythm. I can't. I can't play DDR. I can't play like Mega. I Beat Mania, Beat Saber. I am the worst, the worst at it. And so this put samples in like for me, and I was like, oh yeah, the drums are on time. Wow.
Imagine that. A computer
oh no.
But that, like a lot of like real deal musicians would look at that and be like, that's not real music. And then they would, like they didn't take the time to, but they took the time to learn something else. It's like,
and so there I just kept going to programs, and then I went to GarageBand. I did that for a while, and then I was tired of telling people I worked in GarageBand. So I bought the other thing, the Big Daddy program.
Logic or Pro Tools?
Logic, thank you, yes.
Good old Logic.
People like, hey, what do you do music in? And I'd be like, GarageBand? And then what was that? GarageBand. And so now it can be like Logic. Weird, like... And they're like, oh, I use Logic too. And like, yes, good, yes, thank you, yes, good, thank you.
Logic is the understandable step up. And then after Logic, then it's Ableton. And once you get into Ableton, it's like, I look at people love like producers. That's all they use now is Ableton. And I look at it and it just looks like a foreign language. It's like, it's literally hacking to make music, but it's great because it apparently has, it uses the least amount of processing power than any of the DAWs out there. Yeah. And that's why people use it. And there's a lot more features with, MIDI and whatnot. I mean, you can you can do the same things with Logic too. It's just a little kind of, that's not what it was built for.
Well, I just picked up Logic to do the same stuff I was doing in GarageBand, just so I could tell people it wasn't GarageBand. There's like some more samples and stuff, but I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, I mean, what's crazy though? It's like I can't remember the artist or the DJ. This is when trap music was like. This is in 2013, and trap was like the music at the time. And we were it was at Warped Tour, and we were on the Spotify stage, and we were with all the DJs. We were a band, but we were like a band electronica mix, and so they put us on the electronic stage, if you will, and it was so fun. But one of the more popular artists, his name was, I forget his name, but I remember we were sitting on the bus and we were just talking about like we're collaborating together because we were a band, and that's how we wrote music. We wrote music with actual instruments or keyboards, and then we would add electronic patches here and there. And I remember us having a conversation with him. He was like, I don't know how to do any of that. Like, I don't know how to do like Logic or anything like that. I just put things together, and they just, and we were like, whoa. So that's what it was kind of mind blowing because it was like two different worlds colliding. We never did a collaboration. I wish we would have, but like,
I mean, that's basically what I do is I just take samples and like, does this sound like garbage? No. No. Okay. Well, all right. I've been trying to do like themes and stuff. Like my latest album.
I don't know.
My latest album I'm working on is called Fatality, and it's supposed to be like an homage to Mortal Kombat.
Nice.
So every key is in a minor key because I want it to be dark, and this sounds like Sub-Zero. This sounds like Scorpion. This sounds like Reptile. So I have
love
songs that they're not official, but so I'm finally at like a point where I can like make stuff sound like evil or dark, and I don't have to like, I don't know. It's
Oh,
cool.
man.
I don't.
Yeah, I when your stuff's great, like, you know, at the end of the day, that's all that matters. And I think at a certain point, like, I think it's possible that music becomes something, it detaches itself from the artist, I feel like, and it's somewhat everybody's at a certain point.
Yeah.
Does that make any sense?
I really appreciate that because you are like a real musician that did like the real deal. I've been fumbling around with this program doing stuff. Dude, man, like I like growing up, I always felt like the little nerd in the side. And so like the fact that we're talking, I feel like the cool guy and then like I don't know. It's like just two different worlds of like hanging out.
Well, that's funny that you say that because I was never the cool guy. I mean, I just fell into something that, you know, my parents were musicians, and so I sort of just grew up in the musician world.
Were they? That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't call them musicians. They were singers. They were entertainers. My dad was an Elvis and is still. He hasn't done it in a long time because of COVID, but like, he's an Elvis impersonator, and that's what he did. That's
cool.
what he did. That's how he met my mother, and they toured. That's what they did. It was like an Elvis impersonation
Can
show.
you tell me they met in Vegas? If you tell me they met in Vegas, that will do it for me.
No, they did not meet in Vegas.
Damn
they
it.
actually met in Memphis.
Oh, good. That's better. That's better.
Yeah,
I'll
they
take
actually
it.
met in Memphis. I believe it was Memphis or yeah, I can't remember. I'm lost in that. I'm a terrible son for that apparently. But no, but my parents did in fact move to Vegas. I lived in Memphis till I was 5. My dad had a little club where he would do his Elvis show. And it was in Memphis. It was right across from Graceland. And then he moved to Las Vegas, and that's where I lived till I was 20, and then I moved to Nashville. So anyway, like, I just grew up in bands like that. Life was always around me, hanging out with musicians since I was like little kid. And then I started my own band, and then just kind of just took off from there. But during that time, I was the nerd. Like, I was always playing video games because I was, when I was a kid, I grew up in hotel rooms playing Nintendo. I'm an only child, so I didn't really have a lot of people to hang out with. And so I was just I just kind of became obsessed with the games, the stories, the adventure in my head. And I would use that, sort of, and the music always inspired me too. And it wasn't until, I got a drum set that I kind of merged the two together. And then I would always practice to video game music. Because I just loved the games and the music.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so it just never left. But it always, those two trajectories, gaming nerd and musician, they just kept on going. And if I had not done the music thing, I would definitely be doing more of the, I'm more of a collector, more of a, the gaming sort of side, the retro collecting,
right?
Video game reviewer sort of thing.
Oh, sure.
But yeah, that's it.
I'm an only child as well. My dad is a musician, not a musician, a magician. I can't do any of that, but he. Sorry, I went full Porky Pig there. He grew up like he did magic like as a hobby, and then all of a sudden he was in Iowa, just his area just had like a demand for like musicians, and he was like the only one. So he was the big name on campus for like a hot minute. And then he later went into IT, but he was like major into entertaining, just big entertainer on stage, big presence, big. Mom was in oil, so that was a lot of fun.
Well, that's an interesting little combination of people. I'm a magician.
Well, Dad was always big
oil.
into IT. Dad was big into IT and stuff, and so growing up, I had like one of the first Macs and like one of the first like fast internet connections. And so like I grew up like with Sonic and Mario and all that stuff, and the art, and then like and Mega Man and stuff. And so I would pick up. He's gone. Where did he go? He's disappeared. He's invisible, Shane. Oh no!
Sorry, something is tugging. Hang on. I'm so sorry. Give me
okay. No, you're fine. It's a snake.
Was it freaking like a hair or something? It was bothering. It was like tickling my feet. Underneath here is just pajamas and bare feet. If you,
yeah, sure.
This is the beauty of having.
I was kind of waiting for a tarantula, and that would have made it really exciting. But...
Oh dear God! That would have been... I'm so sorry. Continue.
No. Yeah. So like I would draw the instruction manuals and stuff because like I'm kind of old. I was born in '83, so I was around 84. The time when the internet. Nice, good deal.
Yeah.
So I would draw the instruction manuals and stuff, and then eventually when the internet came out, I would draw from that. And so kind of like technology and my artist stuff kind of led to me be like a graphic designer. Like I use Photoshop all the time and stuff and Illustrator, and I design stuff in magazines. And this is going to be me just patting myself on the back for a little bit, but it's kind of cool. So I've worked with like the Boston Red Sox, and I've made promos for them.
No way.
Stuff. Yeah, it's not as fancy. It's like they just email me and like we want an ad, and I'm like, yep.
That's awesome, dude. That's great.
I worked with Publix, the grocery store. I've worked with Ben and Jerry's. Just a little promo, not a huge thing, but
hey, that's
it was
something
cool.
That's cool.
So I worked for a travel agency that has an ad sales department, and so they would go out and get clients, and so every so often they were like, oh yeah, hey, Boston Red Sox need an ad. I'm like, do they? For me? And like, yeah, and I'm like, okay. Because like in Florida, we're next to like their training center. They train like not that far from here.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
So there's like an ad I made is in the ballpark, and that's kind of cool. So I do a lot of like I have some mild credit to my like name a little bit.
That's awesome.
Not just like I also draw Sonic the Hedgehog.
Well, let's get it. Yeah, let's get into that. Let's get it. So like you grew up around gaming because you just said your dad's in IT and that you're just sort of in that and you just kind of fell into it. Like what kind of games did you like take to the most? Like you said it was like Sonic.
I took to Sonic the Hedgehog and like Mario and like kind of the stuff that was like a really quick reaction time stuff and RPGs, but like later. Like I didn't know RPGs were like slow and methodical and like press your turn and you select spell and then and then this little game called Super Mario RPG came out and I'm like, I love RPGs, they're so good now. And so then I was like, I guess I should buy a PlayStation because this Final Fantasy some anime character with a sword, I guess I should check it out. And it blew my mind in half. Dude, like, this is the pinnacle. Look how realistic it is. And it's like big arm Popeye Cloud. I'm like, look how real it is.
I know.
Oh my God.
That was the first time I ever saw a weapon so huge, which is it's actually right there.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I got that in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. Gatlinburg is like the sort of touristy kind of place where you can like rent cabins and stuff. So we've been there a couple times just to rent a cabin and hang out and drink all day. Sure. But there's like it's like again like a tourist town and it's like southern tourist town, so there's a bunch of weapon shops. There's like 4 or 5.
Oh, nice.
You just walking down 4 or 5 and like a bunch of whiskey tastings and like it's really cool. It's a lot of fun. If you're in the Tennessee area,
give me like 2 seconds. It's better if I show it.
Oh, I love show and tell. If you're listening to this on the audio side, he is going to grab something to surprise me with, and I'm going to try and describe what I'm seeing. Oh my God, it's a Zelda sword. It's Link's sword. It's the Master Sword. That's amazing. That's amazing. You got that at a weapon shop, I'm assuming, or did you get that online?
Yeah, I sure
did. Okay. That's how you get it, man. You don't get them from online. You got to go into the shop and pick it off the shelf.
It was like only because I could pick it up and like when I unsheathed it, I was like, I need this. This is mine now. I have this. What is it? Yep, here's the money.
Dude, that's great. Because, dude, when I bought that, actually but my best friend bought it because I was actually broke at the time, and he bought it for me. And he's like, here, you can pay me back later. And it literally that is all steel. It's like 50 pounds. It is unwieldable.
Yeah.
Like, I could barely hold it. Like, it's like, this is completely unrealistic. Like, that's
why Cloud is strong.
That's the thing. He's so skinny. It's just kind of like, this is even more unrealistic. But hey,
Yeah.
it's fantasy, everybody.
Yeah.
It is fantasy.
So I grew up with video games, and I kind of have a long story about Sonic. It's like it's stupid, but
Do tell.
it's
Do tell. That is there are
okay.
no
So
stupid
I was born
questions
in
here.
Anchorage, Alaska. Burr. And
Anchorage, Alaska. Nice.
yeah, and then mom's job had her move to Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, and that was 91. So the Genesis and Sonic just came out. And so all my friends are gone, my lifestyle, and like, you know, Anchorage, Alaska has 24 hours of night, 24 hours a day. And
That's
here I'm in a
insane.
place where the sun sets and rises all the time like an asshole. And like, and so everything was like brand new to me. And so like Sonic was like this goes like it was just fun to play and hang out, but then mom's job that she moved to got eliminated the year she was there. So then we had to move to Houston, and so but I took like Sonic with me there, and so all my friends and everything I was just starting to get used to for a year went away, but Sonic came along with me, so he was like my friend that like came along also. And it was kind of fun because like when Sonic 3 came out, I was all like a kid, like, yeah, Sonic 3, yeah, woohoo, I'm freaking out. And we were going to go back to Alaska for like a family trip, but it was the day, like Sonic 3 came out the day we were leaving for Anchorage. And I came home from school and like dad had got the game early. So there it was just sitting, hanging out for me. And I got to play it for like an hour. And I was like, oh, well, it's time to go. And dad was like, well, guess what? We're bringing it with you. So I'm like, oh. So I got to bring Sonic back to Alaska. And I got to I was like, me and my cousin just played Sonic 3 and Mean Bean Machine while they did like adult bullshit or whatever. And so
we'll be kids. We're gonna do kid bullshit over here.
But, oh yeah, so like Sonic's like my best friend that like came with me to Ohio and all that.
That's beautiful because like, you know, as a kid, you move around constantly, like that could have like a negative effect on a kid, you know. So you know, we need to like grab onto something. That's sort of what I did. I mean, it was a different ability for different ability. It's different for me because my parents were touring, but we had a home. We never like moved home, so I always kept my friends together. But I think video games are so beautiful that they can, you know, especially as a kid, and a lot of people like they teach us how to be good people in a lot of ways. And what I mean by that, it's like, yeah, you can go the RPG route because that's actual like legit stories, or they can inspire you by, you know, essentially wowing you, entertaining you as a kid. And because you're not just playing the game. It's not just a game as a kid. You're actually the hero in the story. You know, as you are wanting to do good in the game. You never play as the villain. I mean nowadays, you know, it's fun to like go back and forth in GTA and all that stuff. But when we grew up, we were just like these. We were Sonic the Hedgehog. We were, you know, a Simon Belmont fighting evil. You know, we were heroes. You know, and I think that has a good imprint on children as opposed to
absolutely
the negative aspects of video games. A lot of people point out too, like, oh, the violence and this, that, and the other, and I think that's just a constant bullshit. But
between the violence is like teamwork and camaraderie and like strangers coming together and working towards a single objective. There's like team building and relationship building. Like
absolutely.
You're trying to snipe a guy in the forehead, but at the same time, little Jimmy's learning how to talk to random people.
100%. Yeah. I think just I'm so grateful that video games like came into my life at a time where, you know, it was a lot of moving around and, you know, just being around. It was a lot of stimulation outside in the outside world, just being with traveling musicians. And it was a lot of fun, but you know, when you're an only child, it could take a negative. You could feel lonely, you know, if you didn't have something to fall back to.
I have a music question, if that's okay. It's kind of like, but okay. So whenever I see people do covers, they always have to like change the key they're playing in if like the song is different. You switch songs all the time, but you're not. How come drums aren't like in a key? Like you don't have to like change like.
Well, though, I mean, if you want to get really technical, they can be. Terry Bozzio is he's one drummer that I can remember when I was actually taking lessons. I asked that very question. It's like, do you like why don't drummers change their toms to the tune or to the key of whatever the song is? And he just basically looked at me, just because you don't have to, because when you're performing, people don't hear that. They just hear the bang, they just hear the fun. But Terry Bozzio, he's insane, and so he will literally do that. He will literally change the tune. He'll play, like, he has a million different drums. If you've ever seen him, it's insane. Like, he'll tune his, I don't know how, maybe he tunes his cymbals, I don't know. He's just one of those drummers that just, like, he's the god among men when it comes to drums. But he would tune his his toms to match.
I always thought that was fascinating, because you just play whatever song. You haven't even heard the song most of the time, and you just go for it. I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah, but that's the beauty about drums, is because drums is it's about, for me anyway, it's about the it's fun. It's a visceral sort of fun thing. And there's other aspects of drumming that people take a lot more seriously. I was never that. Like, I took to drums because I looked at it and said, that looks like a lot of fun. That just looks like and being around music and my mother performing on stage while I was in the womb, I feel like that helped aid my sense of rhythm, because my mom was performing on stage while she was pregnant, and then the bass drum is like hitting right here, and she says that I was kicking with the beat. I don't believe her. I might have been kicking.
Cool though. That's cool. I like that. That's a good story.
It's a good story, right? It's fun.
My mom was a hippie, like, scientist photographer that went out into the wild and took pictures of plants and.
But hey, you're in the same sort of realm, artistry.
Yeah. No, my mom is a painter. Not professional, but she's pretty good. Yeah. And a baker, and she had a little bakery for a little while.
Isn't that funny? Kind of how we grow up to be sort of like what our parents are. Just like we take things from, because we're just inspired by them, if they're good parents anyway.
Well, my mom, I didn't know she painted till I was like, I was like 17 on an airplane going to Vegas. And my mom, like, I was like, hey, Mom, why did you try to draw Goku? Haha, LOL. And she drew like this perfect. I'm like, what am I looking at? How did you paint and draw? She's like, yeah, I used to paint when. I'm like, what?
It's hard to like look at your parents and like think that they were like young, go-getters out in the world and just creative and doing all sorts of things, because we just know them as like, hey, don't touch that. What are you doing? Get over here. No, don't do that.
Hey, don't touch that was my nickname. Yeah.
But before us, like, they went out and enjoyed and drank and had a good time and were, just creative monsters. And then we came along and ruined it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We had to make them responsible human beings.
While you're here, where did the name Five Knives come from? I could guess, but I want to know.
So I was actually not a part of the creation of the band originally. I was their second drummer. They were only a band for about 3-4 months before I came into the picture. And so they had an original drummer, and then he left, and so they saw one of my like YouTube drum solos like way back in the day, and they were like, hey, come on and audition, we heard from you from this guy. And so I came in, auditioned, and everything worked great. They were, they're amazing people, and they're super talented. But originally started as like a DJ project, and then Nathan Barlow was like, let's make this a band. Let's like actually make a band. Let's get a girl singer. Let's like sort of do that. And so there was this old Nashville band called the Wursties. And the girl is Anna Worstel, who's now Anna. Oh, she just got remarried. So anyway, Anna, she came into the picture, and it just all fit perfectly. Like her voice, her attitude, like it was very punk-esque, And so it was just, And so to answer your question, where did Five Knives come from? Just sounded cool.
Okay. No,
big story. I mean, like during our little tenure there, like we tried to figure out if we should make a story up, and just be like, hey, there was this time we got in a fight with dude with 5 knives and we beat them all. And we're like, nah, lame.
Oh, okay. There's like a legend about like the 5 sacred knives online. And I'm like, oh, dude, that's so cool. What a great thing to pull
Oh, yeah,
from.
totally. Yeah, we totally, yeah. No, it just
I'm like, it's 5
cool.
knives, but 4 band members. And all right.
Yeah. And so we tried to like play with a lot of things. We were like, who could be the 5th knife? And so we played around with some like ideas.
God,
like,
Jesus. Make room for Jesus.
Yeah. Jesus is the, you know, he's your savior and also the 5th knife. No, we were like, maybe the audience could be the 5th knife. I don't know. We were just having a lot of fun, and it was just
okay. No, it was a cool name, and
yeah.
I found you first, and so like, hey, I'm part of 5 Knives. I'm like, oh, well, let me check out this small little indie band. I bet they have some like cute little what the fuck.
I mean, we were. I mean, yeah, it was just great, man. Like as soon as it was a month after I joined the band that we got contacted by Red Bull Records, and they were like, hey, you know, we are very interested in you. Come and sign to our new label. And Red Bull Records have AWOL Nation and a bunch of other bands that we were really into, and we're like, this is actually a perfect fit. And they were still at that time, technically speaking, an indie label. They were just underneath the umbrella of the drink Red Bull, and essentially just Red Bull just uses that in that label as essentially a write-off, essentially, because they can just write off the whole label, and which was great for Red Bull Records. I don't know if it is that way now, but like they had more money as a result than a bunch of indie labels as a startup or whatever. So they were able to sign us and sort of push us for years. We actually had a signing bonus, and what that means is a lot of bands who get signed to major labels don't get signing bonuses anymore because they just can't afford it.
Yeah,
or at least the major labels don't want to give it to them, which is horrible. But we actually got a signing bonus, so we actually got paid to be signed at first.
Nice.
And then, you know, they actually paid for tour support, which is unheard of in today's. If you're a brand new band, you don't get tour support. That's not you're getting your money either through merch or through ticket sales, and that is it. And then forget about like making money off of, you know, Spotify and whatnot, because especially if you're signed to a label, they get a big chunk of that. You know, it's just kind of how it goes, and it depends on your lawyers and their lawyers. But I never made more than, you know, it wasn't like I'm getting to a little bit in the weeds here about like musician. Like,
no, I don't know if you already went over this, but I appreciate it. It's fascinating.
Yeah, I looked at it like as a fun thing, and for the label, it was more of an investment in us. And so, because they were pushing out money, to their credit, they pushed out a lot of money on us, and we didn't get paid on the back end because of that, but we were able to have a great friggin' time. Opened up for Smashing Pumpkins, had a little tour with Iconopop, opened up for 21 Pilots and New Politics, and I'm still good friends with the New Politics guys.
That's awesome.
2 of them moved out.
You got some bangers. You got some good stuff. It is on my rotation on Spotify. Nice. I was like, this stuff is blowing my mind.
Yeah,
it's happening.
We recorded that record in LA. We recorded a record in LA. Like we lived in LA for like 3 months to record that record, which is
that's crazy.
It was insane. You know, it was just one of the best times of my life. And it was literally a dream come true. That's awesome. So take all of that, what you just said, and then me growing up like Alaska, moving around and then messing with garage band, and then this professional big effing deal drummer is like, I'm going to do one of your songs. And I'm like, are you really? That was one of the coolest things to ever happen to me, was like, because I do like some drum stuff or whatever, but I had like having like a real professional drummer, I was like, this is the best my stuff is ever gonna sound. I should quit now. I appreciate it. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
It was really a big deal, so I really appreciate it, and it was awesome.
Well, yeah, I jumped into this content creation space in like 2016 after 5 Knives like officially broke up, because at that point I was just like, well, the dream is kind of done now, so what do I do?
I know. Oh my god. Yeah,
but yeah, it's crazy. You know, like when you tell yourself as a little kid that your dream is be in a band, get famous, you know, tour, do that whole thing, and that actually comes true, when I was 27 and got signed, and I told myself when I was a kid, I was like, I'm gonna get signed, and sure enough, it happened. And then did the dream, toured, made a record, did the whole thing, and then it broke up. And then at that point, it's kind of like, shit, I don't have a backup plan. I don't have any
Yeah.
backup plan. And what's crazy is like throughout that whole time of being in a band and touring and whatnot, I actually had a full-time job.
Yeah.
For all those years, I had a full-time day job. It's
I
great.
love your story. Well, it's heartbreaking, but I like the potential about I had a dream, I lost it, and now I have another dream about this.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. Like when I started doing like content creation, I didn't know what I kind of did a whole bunch of stuff. Like at first, when I started my YouTube channel, it was like, I'm going to do drum covers because I'm a drummer and I like video games and whatnot. But my first drum cover was a crazy idea I had. I was really into Attack on Titan the first season, and we would always talk about it at work. And I worked with this makeup artist, and she was like, oh my God. I told her this idea of like, I want to do an Attack on Titan opening theme drum cover, and I want you to paint my face. She's like, yes, let's do that. And my landlord at the time, he worked in television, so he had his own studio, green screen studio. And so like, can I use your studio to set up my drums and make a drum cover of a green screen background and me playing the opening theme of Attack on Titan dressed up as a Titan? And I was like, let's see if this works. That'll be my first drum cover on my YouTube channel. And sure enough, it was. And it blew up. Awesome. It was, it was like freaking 1 million views in Facebook, and like, almost 1 million views on YouTube. I'm like, oh crap, this is awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. So I started doing more drum covers at that point. But the problem is I don't watch a lot of anime. Like I just don't watch a lot of anime. I'm the video game guy. Like I love video games, not, I love anime too, but I just don't, that's not, I'll get into phases, I'll like have an anime phase, and then that'll be it. And so I started doing video game covers, and then, okay, this is fun. It wasn't getting as much traction as the other stuff. And so I was kind of like, and then I started doing video game reviews, and I was doing like, the classic sort of angry video game nerd, John Tron kind of, review process. And then the pandemic happened. Yeah. And then kind of like flipped the script a little bit as far as, losing your job, because at my job, I would actually be able to like edit videos at work. I started like, what can I do? Like, I don't have as much time as I used to do like these actual video game reviews and stuff like that. And I started doing it. Like, I wanted to do the live streaming for a very long time, but I just never had the inspiration to do it until the pandemic, really. I started right before the pandemic, but then when the pandemic happened, I was like, okay, now this is all I have left now. And so I just focused on the live stream, and and it was just like I didn't expect anything to happen. Like I didn't have any dreams for any of this. It's just kind of something I'm a creative person. I need to put something out there into the universe, because if I don't, I'll go crazy. And so and again, I would just stream to my friends, and then TikTok happened, and my friend said, hey, get your stuff on TikTok. I was like, all right, sure. Because it took it forever to get on TikTok, because I was all about the Instagram and, in the YouTube and whatnot. And then TikTok happened, and freaking
TikTok dominated really hard.
Yeah. And I met you, and then I started getting followers. I started getting engagement for the first time. Like people who were actually like, I love what you're doing. Like I didn't hear that for 4 years. I would hear like from my friends, like, man, this is really cool. This is really fun. Nice. But I would, as soon as I start this is really cute what you're doing. This is really nice, but but then people on TikTok, there's something different. I don't know what it is. I don't know, because I still release stuff on Instagram, but with something with TikTok, people are so positive and so supportive, and so like, keep going. This is awesome. I love your stuff. Like, I never really got that until TikTok. So kind of was like,
wow. TikTok has fosters a kind of an engagement relationship, whereas like Instagram is such a weird place to be because you can find people that are like TikTok on there, but you just have to like get huge and like then people I don't know. It's just I don't know. Instagram is like really culty and like cliquish and like you can it, like well I don't know. I'm of the mind that your stuff needs to go everywhere to like just for like because I'm in marketing, so you know as a way
Yeah.
to like brand awareness.
Yeah,
Put it everywhere.
I'm glad we're doing this because I'm glad I know that you're into marketing, so I can pick your brain a little bit more about this
Yeah,
sort of
no, I
stuff.
mean, well, I mean, I have like legitimately, I've worked for $1 million corporation to like a mom and pop shop to hospitals, and it's kind of the same principle. I worked in social media and web design for a long time, moved to Florida and applied for a job for web design, and then they had me do nothing but graphic design, and I'm like, okay, you got it.
But your stuff, I think it's so incredible. Like you have almost 100,000 followers on TikTok. And
Yes.
you like the stuff that you do create. It's like it caters to that sort of quick, funny moment kind of creative stuff. And you
Yeah.
do a lot of memeing and stuff like that. Like I don't have
Yeah.
the witty nature. I don't have that. Like I can't think of something like that. And I'm not that witty. But like
Sure, sure.
your stuff is just it's funny and fun. And
Thank
I think
you.
it's yeah, I think it's great. And you
I,
got
I appreciate that a lot. I've been honing down like the perfect like TikTok recipe since 2019. I've been drawing. I used to okay, here's my long story. So I wanted to draw all the time. I wasn't happy with my art, da da da. And then so I started TikTok and I'm like, well, I'm gonna like pick an IP and I'm gonna change every week. So like 1 week will be Mega Man, 1 week will be Sonic, 1 week will be this anime, and I just do. And then are you aware of something called Friday Night Funkin' by any chance? Have you heard of that?
I I might have heard it in passing, but explain.
It's basically a rhythm game, and it was independent on Newgrounds. You know Newgrounds.
Oh
You know
yeah, yeah,
Newgrounds?
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it was started on Newgrounds as kind of just this fun little project, and it just exploded in popularity. It's this huge it got this huge thing, and so I was trying to think of like while switching IPs, I got to Animaniacs, and I was like, I'll do Animaniacs, and for one of the Animaniacs like shorts I was doing, like, well, like I could put Animaniacs with this Friday Night Funkin' stuff and do like a mock rhythm game thing with like the Animaniacs with the Friday Night Funkin' cast and whatever. It'll be my thing for today, and I'll do something else tomorrow. So I just put it together, threw it online, whatever. Didn't think about it. It got 300,000 views in 6 days,
Oh god, that's crazy.
and I was like, oh my god.
Isn't that
And so
it's so bizarre? I mean, it's not bizarre
yeah.
because it's funny and it's great, but you didn't even like think that hard about it, you know?
No, I was just I didn't want to do it because it was just going to be a pain in the ass to do because I would draw like 5 or 6 panels, and then I usually did that, but this one it would be require like the characters like move around and dance a little bit, so there was a lot more drawing, and I didn't want to do it because it would take forever, and I'm lazy.
Same,
and
samesies.
and so I did I spent like 5 or 6. I'm like, here, F it, this goes online, whatever, I'll do a new one tomorrow, I'm switching IPs tomorrow, whatever. But it went so hard, I did a second one and that got kind of the same attention, and I did a third one, but by the third one I was like, okay, I either have to stick with Friday Night Funkin' or
Change it up.
Animaniacs, and I
Yeah.
grew up with Animaniacs, so I'm like, I'm just gonna do this for like a year every day. And so then I drew Animaniacs every day for like a year, and I had some pretty good successes. I had one video went to 1 million views on YouTube, and I was like, holla holla good dollar. But then like the Animaniacs hype, I could pinpoint the moment everything started to just crumble. Like the second reboot season came out and it didn't perform really well. Like it was fine, but it wasn't really, what's the word? Oh, good. And and so the hype just drained out, like, and so like all my videos and all my views, the interaction, I was losing subs. It was like I was like, all right, I need to like think about like what's a good solid fan base. Well, Sonic has a pretty active fan base, and I like Sonic, So I'll just see what happens. Well, now my normalcy is like 10,000 views each video on TikTok and like a couple thousand on YouTube, and I'm like, yes, here we go.
I found the thing.
We're back in it to win it, and and like the Animaniacs are like black and white. That's fun to draw, but now I have like blue and red and other colors.
Yeah.
Like,
ooh, colors.
So it's a lot more visually like, and there's a lot more cast of characters to pull from, and not like 4.
Yeah, right, exactly. No, yeah, and there's so much you could do with it. Now, even if like the Sonic thing, you could do all sorts of different characters.
Oh yeah, there's a ton. I like sticking with one IP because when you think about when I first started doing, I was like, oh God, I have everything available. And so I go through TikTok and I look for sound. And so I hear a sound. I'm like, could this work with Avatar: The Last Airbender? Could this work with Mario? Could this? I don't know.
How long does it take? How long does it take? Do you have like, templates already made? And then
no, everything is from scratch.
Okay. How long does it take to create a video?
Like 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
Oh, that's not bad at all.
Like that.
Look at you.
No, I've gotten pretty fast at it. One single character drawn and shaded is about half an hour. If it gets really complicated, if it's like a Danganronpa character or like some anime character, it could be 45 minutes because they have like buckles and buckles and buckles and buckles and buckles and buckles.
A lot of buckles, really. Maybe it should...
Yeah. I mean, Kingdom Hearts, like.
Yeah. That's so true. He said buckles everywhere.
Donald has a zipper on his hat. Down the middle. What is happening? Whatever. And
apparently they shop at Gucci or somewhere. They shop at a really nice.
So sometimes it can get complicated, but I've gotten pretty fast at having good quality stuff get out. So it's like 2.5 hours for like, and I want to do it every day because, I don't know what could hit. I don't want to sleep on something and then maybe that's the day that's where it hits. So yeah, I don't know. And it's good. It's good stream fodder. I have like 7 or 8 people come hang out all the time, and my stream is chock full of stuff that people can like press buttons and like an explosion happens, or like a snipe shot appears and it like a gunshot goes off, and I have it. If they get me in the forehead, I give them a sub because it's random. So if they shoot me in the head and they clip it and they get a gift. So I just have a bunch of like stuff people can play with the whole time. So
I have not gotten to that level yet. That's so fun.
Your stuff specifically, I followed you because I like to follow. You have good quality. You have good content. I'm along for the ride because I am 100% sure you can make it. Out of like, I follow a lot of people, and I just like watching them kind of build up and go places. And you are like, oh man, I'm just excited to watch you like this thing just kind of over. It'll be one video, we'll just go nuts suddenly. And you'll just be there. You'll just be there. And I'll be like, I know that guy. I'll be like, you'll be in the crowd. Shay over here.
I appreciate that. That makes me smile. Thank you. I mean, I don't know, man. It's I didn't think anything would come of this, but I honestly had no idea about TikTok until my buddy was like, get a TikTok. And I would just annoy me about TikTok. It was almost like, a person talking about CrossFit all the time. It was just like TikTok. Do the TikTok. Fine, I'll do it.
It's the number one app. If you don't have a TikTok, it's like not having a YouTube 10 years ago. Like, what are you doing? Like,
right. Yeah. And so I'm just having fun. But now it's like inspiring me. Like people like people like you who are so supportive and coming to the stream. It's like now I'm like it's giving me more inspiration to take this other places. Like I had the confidence now. Like, the confidence is building now, as opposed to
I love your stream. Not like there's the talent, obviously, but what I really like is the positivity. Because you'll get some people like some people request a song that is like nothing. I don't know what the hell is going on, but you will be like, wow, that was a really fun tune. I really like that. Or like even the crazy ones, like, man, I don't know what's happening, but that is a lot of fun. Like you're always like you put like a positive spin on stuff. Like it's
Oh,
it's such a nice
blast.
place to just hang out and like have a good time. Whereas like I'm Mr. Grumpy Gus. If someone comes into my chat and requests something like ridiculous, like, hey, could you draw the Tetris piece? And I'll be like, what the fuck is that?
I maybe like if I do this long enough, and if more people start to join in the stream, maybe eventually I will have the day where I'm just kind of like, I don't want to do this anymore. But dude, like it's just fun. Like it's just kind of crazy.
Yeah.
Like just having 5 people in at a time, just like enjoying. I don't know. It just reminds me. It kind of reminds me of like when I was in bands and whatnot, and we would have rehearsals.
Yeah.
You know, it was always fun to have like a audience watching us practice, you know, and it was just like our friends, and then we would just hang out. And after the practice, we would come out and drink and whatnot. And it just kind of reminded me of that, where where you're just hanging out with your friends, and you're in a band, and you're playing your music, and you're just entertaining your friends, and they're entertaining you, and they're a part of the process, even though they're not really a part of the band. But at the same time, we're all sharing this energy together. Like, and that's what, you know, the live stream kind of reminds me of. And so like I'm having a blast.
What's really telling about the quality of your stream was you were rated by like 50 people, and after like a couple of people dropped off, but you were consistently at 30 for the rest of it. And retaining people, and that many people, is super hard on Twitch, because I got rated a bunch of times by like a couple other people, but you know, my art stream is such a disconnect from like people playing Mario 64 or something that they're like, oh, art, okay, oh, neat, anyway. But you had people come in from a completely different type of stream, came to yours, and then hung around for the entirety, which is just super telling of the quality that you produce. So I was like, there's the proof. I don't have to do anything. It's right there.
That's cool. And forgive me, like you know, and I should probably just tell this, but I don't watch a lot of Twitch, even though I use it, and I should watch a lot more. But just like, you know, being a full grown adult, you know, with a family and a full time job, it's kind of hard. And you know, I want to spend time with my wife, and she doesn't watch Twitch. We just watch. Actually, we're getting Yellowstone.
Yeah, sure.
Have you ever watched the show Yellowstone?
It's you have to run around and do the gamut. There's a bunch of stupid, you know. I don't have any of that stuff you just said. So I spend a lot of time like gathering data and looking at numbers and looking at what's popular and looking at what's doing well and what sounds are doing well and like da 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 da. And I don't not that I do it because I'm crazy.
We're all crazy, and you know, we all have our moments. Yeah,
so it's really really hard to like the average viewer. If you have five or more viewers on Twitch, you're in the 2%, like 1 or 2% on Twitch, and then there's like the elites that have like hundreds of thousands, and it's like
they have all the followers.
Yeah, there's like 5 people that make a career on Twitch out of what they make, and then everyone else is like kind of making it, and then you have people that it just helps with the bills, and you have people like you and me that we just turn it on sometimes.
Yeah, you know, I've discussed this on the podcast a bunch with different content creators, and my sort of philosophy on this whole content creation thing is like, I would love for it to be a thing and like to have you know 1,000 people in a room, like, but I want to be careful in sort of getting lost in that sort of thing, because I feel like a lot of people get bogged down with trying to
numbers.
Yeah, they get with numbers, but they get this idea in their head that because Ninja, you know, has 300 million followers and he's making all this money, that they can do it too. And yes, they can. You absolutely can.
Yeah.
But then, you know, like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm older and realistically in practicality become more of a thing when you're a little bit older. It's just like, okay, this could be a thing, but I have to be careful. I have to, you know, like, at what point do you start sacrificing other parts of your life for this content creation thing? Yeah. Does that make any sense?
Exactly. No, it totally makes sense. And Ninja got lucky with playing the most popular game at the time and is actually really skilled at the most popular game at the time. So being really, really, really good at popular video game at the time, I mean, sure, Yeah, but being a master at something takes forever. And he got lucky, and he fell into a certain demographic.
Yeah, I feel like luck
And,
is a big part of it that a lot of people miss.
Yeah,
You know, it's
Fortnite picked him up as like a spokesman, so he got promoted by the thing he was playing, and then it just self-generated. He got. I don't have an opinion about Ninja one way or another because I don't want to go down that road or whatever. But he did get kind of like gifted, like all his stuff was just kind of like, here's, you have it now. And he's
well,
like, cool.
I look at it like it could be anything. Well, it doesn't necessarily have to be pertaining to streaming too. It could be bands, it could be artists, it could be celebrities. It's kind of a thing. It's sort of like riding momentum. Some people can like get something and then ride that momentum into stardom. But 95% of people will get something cool really happen and then
like
it's gone.
Yes. Oh my, that I had a video, like my video excuse me, that it got to like 1 million views, and I was like, yeah. And then YouTube was like, okay, well, we're done with it now. And then all my lifeblood in YouTube just drained out the back just immediately.
Same.
Like I went from getting like 100 subs a day, which was baller, to like 12.
Yeah.
12.
It's just, it messes with your emotional well-being. I feel like if you don't have a strong, if you don't have a strong center, like, and you already have sort of like emotional issues anyway, I can imagine that sort of like tease to really mess with you mentally, like because it messed with
I
me.
thought I made it, man. I thought getting 100 subs a day for like 2 weeks, I was like, this is it, we're here, boys, we're doing it. And then the momentum died out, and it was like, oh, it was like when Andy, like, have you seen a Toy Story where he's like, I don't want to play with you anymore, and then Woody's like falling into the trash can? That was me.
Dude, it's an emotional roller coaster. And it's like, so when, you know, people say that, you know, like, you're gonna make it and you're gonna do this, I gotta be careful to like not fully believe in it, but be confident enough to be like, I'm gonna little baby steps.
Out of everybody that I follow, well, that's not fair. I know a lot of people that have a lot of potential. Your quality is good, the music is good, the content is good. There are and your niche isn't super saturated. Like, there are some drummers out there, and there's some video game drummers that are already established, but there's not like a billion, you know? There's not like video game reviews, because like every white guy with facial hair has a video game review at some point. I'm right. I did it. You did it. Everybody does it. At some point, white guy with facial hair has a calling from God that's like, I need to review a video game. And put it on the internet. And then it doesn't do shit. And you're like, oh, well, all right.
Oh, God. Oh, that's really funny.
And like, the video game review market is saturated with a bunch of people like you and me doing the same shit, telling the same jokes, saying the same story.
Yeah. So I my last like couple reviews, I wanted to bring my dog into it. Because, you know, I was really into Sir Maximilian, Max Dude, you know, and he's got his little dog. And I was like, that'd be really fun to bring in my dog and see what, you know. Yeah. And it was cute and funny. Right? But like at the end of the day, it's like, someone's already doing this. Like, you know. So
that's the problem. And like there are a lot of people that do animations and stuff, but I give a crap about it. And there's not as many. I'm now just patting myself on the back again because I'm so cool, but I'm part of the YouTube Shorts creator collaboration. So they have like weekly meetings where all the creators like get together and they like ask questions and stuff with like someone from YouTube. And so everyone on the call was like some sort of like a chef or like a self-help or this artist, or like, and then like a couple gamers in there that had this background, which isn't dead. Find the purple background. There's the gamer.
I'm trying to recreate that for my own stream. I just can't get it. I was just like, fuck it. I'm just gonna do a bright white light, and then maybe I got like a was it a disco ball, a motion censored or a sound censored disco ball, and I'm like, I think it's cool. Good.
I like your setup. I mean, what else are you gonna do? Like the gamers that go hardcore have like a wall of video games that go for a mile, and then like their LCD screen with like their name on it, and then like plushies and toys. And at some point, I'm just like, no. This is good.
Well, actually, that's
I have a
something I was
Sonic
thinking
poster
about.
here you can't see. I have a Goofy movie that you can barely make out, and fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, at a certain point, you just gotta go fuck it. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
again, it's just it's like, because I never collected. I would trade games because I was poor, and
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's, I had no choice but to trade games, and I kind of kicking myself for not being a collector, because like I see, like I follow all these people on TikTok and on YouTube, and they just have these walls of just of nerd culture, and I'm like, damn it. Like, had
Yeah.
I kept all of those games, I could be in the same boat. Like, I could have, I had
Oh, I did this. I'm a same thing. I have like a couple I've kept, and I've started rebuilding my collection. But it's hard to find. Like games are old games are expensive now. But I
yeah,
used to have like every game on the market. Like I sold them back to like GameStop
yeah.
because I didn't have money coming out my ass, so I needed new games.
I didn't trade them, did it? But at the
Yeah.
end of the day, too, like if had I wouldn't have had the ability to play all the wonderful games that I did play had that not been an option for me.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
trading
exactly. I mean, at
games,
least I was able to play the new game
right.
for getting $5 on this like $55 game or
Yeah.
whatever.
So it's like it's a double-edged sword. I mean, like, I don't have a big collection, but like my heart's here, man. I'm there.
Yeah, I'm
with
collecting
y'all.
everything I buy after a certain age. When I got like a real job, I was like, okay, I'm keeping everything I buy now.
Yeah,
So
same.
like from like the Wii on, I have pretty much everything. There's just bullshit, just stacks and stacks of utter garbage.
Dude, yeah, I had a gentleman named Michael K, who's also a fantastic drummer, does a bunch of covers and stuff like that. He's starting, like, I've noticed on his TikTok. By the way, it's absolutely criminal he doesn't have like 1 million followers, because he's got the setup, he's got the collection, he's a huge gamer, and he's a great drummer. Like, he's got all of it. And I saw him on TikTok. I had him on my podcast. Like, I need to talk to this guy because he's awesome. And sure enough, he's in Memphis, which is right friggin' 3 hours away.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, so we should hang out one of these days. Anyway, but yeah, Michael K, he has just an awesome setup. Like, just an awesome, like he's got all the systems and all of the chords and all the everything. And I'm like, that I wish I could have that. I wish I could have that, but I don't. I don't have that.
Yeah. I mean, I follow a bunch of gamer like Twitchers. That's not the right word. Twitch people. And I just follow.
What is the word?
It's so funny because like Twitch is the people on Twitch are just starting to like, TikTok as a marketing tool. So there's all these like pre-established Twitch people that have just started, and then I get to come in and find them and go, oh, this is awesome. And then they're like, oh, who's this guy? And then I have numbers because I've been doing this forever. So I think what's going on is these people like see like 100,000 followers. I better follow this guy. And it's like, you idiot. I've tricked you. I'm nothing.
Well, no, actually, that's a thing, man. That is a thing, because it's a human element of life. It's a symbol of status. In real life, it might be a car or a house or something like that, to say, hey, I am actually well off. In the social media sphere, if you have a big amount of followers, that
I know it's your self-worth. But like the amount of followers you have or subscribers you have are not where your viewers come from. All of your viewers are brand new. This little number that like people define your self-worth on means nothing. It like if you make content, it's not guaranteed to go out to that many people. Like 1/100th of those people might see my stuff, maybe.
Well, it's actually reminiscent of, I remember a long time ago when I was still in a band. I can't remember which band I was in at this time, but we talked with a marketing company at the time, and I'll always remember this. I can't remember if it was the marketing team that said this or if it was a songwriter friend. I can't remember who said this. Someone said this, but it stuck with me. And they said, all you need is 100 hardcore fans. And I was like, 100?
Yeah.
Or was it 1,000? It's either way, 100 or 1,000, whatever. You just need 1,000. Let's just say 1,000. That sounds like a better number. You need 1,000 hardcore fans. It's all you need. And with a hardcore fan or a hardcore follower, hardcore anything, they will literally they will follow you. They will buy your t-shirts. They will do everything because they love what you do. They feel like you are unique, in so unique that they're willing to support you in anything that you do. You just need 1,000 of those people. And that sounds like such a small number in comparative to, the numbers that you see on social media. But like that, I was like, that rang with me. It's like, that's so true.
I totally agree. There's a Broadway play called Title of Show, and the song title is "I'd rather be people's 9 people's favorite thing versus 100 people's 9th favorite thing."
That's awesome. That's awesome. And that's that's great. Because that's the. It's so easy to get bogged down in numbers because it's the first thing that you see. And it's the first thing that you feel when you post something. It's the first thing,
and they like YouTube celebrates like those big numbers with like plaques and stuff, and it puts more importance on it, but it's bullshit. It's bullshit, man. There's like, if I have 100,000 followers on YouTube today, what do I get entry into like some special building where are the creators like, oh, hello, Mr. Brinnstar, welcome to the no one gives a shit, man.
I mean, at what point? Because people would say he's a YouTube celebrity. He's not a real celebrity.
No, I'm not. What am I gonna do? I can't. I still have shitty insurance. I got to pay this much for, and 100,000 followers doesn't all of a sudden like give me a discount on like crappy Florida Blue bronze insurance.
And your avatar is a cartoon, so people won't even know who you are if you came into.
Yeah, I know. My avatar is this little wizard guy. Like, yeah.
Maybe you should start dressing up as that. And it's Brinnstar. Hey, how's it going? Do you want a free
I need
burger?
a cosplay. Well, for a long time, I was really, really camera shy. I don't look like your typical, like, I'm older. I have a lot of gray hair. I'm bigger. And I was like, I am like a disaster. And I just said, fuck it one day.
Just fuck it.
And then everyone said I was hot. And I'm like, what the fuck are you guys on?
Hey, people are into.
I'm whatever.
All sorts of
big
all
as
sorts.
in, and
big
I'm big,
man. It's a thing. It's a thing on TikTok. People love the big. People.
No,
anything.
I know. I saw some like attractive girl that was like lusting over a guy that looked like me, and I'm like, what happened?
I know. Like as we were growing up, we were like, what? Now nerds are cool. Like what is going on?
I couldn't. Oh, dude, man, yeah.
The world is shifted on its axis.
Man, yeah, ridiculous.
I mean, it's fun. It's I just at a certain age, and I'm sure you feel this too because we're about the same age. At a certain point, we just gotta say fuck it. It's just like I just have fun. It's like have as much fun with the time remaining you have because your 20s are gone. My 20s are gone. Like
they are obliterated.
Obliterated. We had a good time, and now it's just like. Now what do I do? It's just like as an adult, like I'm closer to 40 than I am 20. What?
Oh no.
What? I mean, like when I think about that, I'm like, shit. But I will say, like when people say age is nothing but a number, I mean, it sounds corny and it kind of is, but at the same time, it's like, it is what you make it. Like,
yeah.
I
agree. Like I've tried to spend the pandemic like trying to get better as an artist, and I've spent every day drawing and improving my skill. So that's why I do it every day because it's an investment into the day. Instead of just letting the pandemic kind of happen, I wanted it to be. I put an investment to something.
Well, you're investing.
And the days do blur together.
Yeah, you're investing in yourself is what you're doing.
Yeah.
You're taking time to invest in yourself. And no matter what, that is always a better bet than invest. Well, hang on. There's a saying that I'm thinking of, and I can't think of it now. I can't finish the thought. But you're investing.
2 pennies for a bushel. Yeah.
Yeah. You're investing in yourself because that is never time wasted. It's because you're building a foundation and on top of that foundation you're building the floor, and on top of the floor you're building the ceiling, and on top of the ceiling is the roof, and it's like at a certain point you'll have a full mansion, and that's what you're building towards when you
exactly
take a little, and it's just little bits here and there. That's all you need. But everyone wants but us humans, we all want the get rich quick scheme. Like,
Yeah,
it's just,
I mean, I do.
I mean,
Yeah,
I do.
yes,
I mean,
yes.
let's be honest here. We all want to, like, just wake up one day with $1 million and, fame
Yeah.
and riches. But
I mean,
that's just not-
I spent more time trying to get rich quick by putting like 2.5 hours every day into something, which is not quick at all.
Hey, but you have talent, you're using it, like, and it's fun, and like, I love stuff like that, and
Thank you.
that's why I
appreciate
created
it.
this podcast, so I can, like, talk to people
Yeah.
like you, and just it like pick your brain and your journey, your how you are you and why you do the things that you
thank
do
you.
and how you got there.
What I like to do is help people. And on that note, can I give you some unsolicited advice on how to promote yourself?
Absolutely, I'll take that.
You're going to laugh. And I swear to God, Snapchat.
Ooh,
Snapchat and Pinterest. And Pinterest, because they Pinterest and Snapchat both have a TikTok feature, because of course they do. It's kind of a pain in the ass to upload videos to Pinterest, because you have to like register and then make yourself a business account. It's totally free, and then you get the privilege of uploading video to their. It's called like an idea. An idea pin is their TikTok version, but Pinterest is the most SEO searchable. Like when you search stuff, what's the first stuff that comes up? Pinterest links. Like Pinterest has it down to a science. And so if your stuff is on Pinterest, you have a higher like searchability just because it's on Pinterest. Ooh. So I only get like 100 views or so on like Pinterest, but that's like,
but what you're doing
SEO
is you're
juice to like go out there.
Yeah, but you're juicing the algorithm.
Yeah.
The overall algorithm.
Yeah, exactly.
Of who
and
Brinnstar
so
is.
I upload them. Like it's like 5 minutes. It's a pain in my ass to get it on Pinterest, but it's if it goes big on Pinterest, it'll go big on Google, which is that you're set. You're set. If you can mess with Google, you're done.
All right.
And then I put it on Reels. I put my stuff on YouTube Reels because who owns YouTube? Google owns YouTube. So if you're what videos come up first? If you search Google, YouTube videos.
Wow. So, look at you. I love this. Like, this is exactly what I need. I'm like, I need a guy who just knows the ins and outs of all this algorithm bullshit. Like, what is going on here?
Yeah, well, they're not going to push Microsoft Bing videos. Get out of here. They're going to push their own videos.
Dude, you wait, man. I'm gonna make Bing
Spotlight,
big. You just wait.
And then so Snapchat Spotlight. There's no real reason for this, but there is. In marketing, there's a term for like just self-awareness. It's like cereal commercials. They don't have a call to action. Like most commercials have like a buy now or call this number or act now, come to our store is like a call to action. Mm. But if you see mascot cereal commercials, it's just part of a complete breakfast is the last line. It's not buy now. It's not try it today. It's not please consider. It just exists, which is just self-awareness to make you feel better. So when you go and see all the cereal things, you're like, oh, that commercial made me feel good. And now I want to buy that because I associate good feelings with that.
So
just getting your name out there is like self-awareness.
It's like I stepped into an episode of Mad Men over here. This is great.
Sorry, 15 years professional marketing. I can't help it.
Did you ever watch that show, Mad Men?
Mad Men? No, I it came and went. And
I feel like since you're in that sphere, I feel like you'd really like that show because it's about advertising. It's essentially it's marketing.
No, I'll finish this point and then I'll go on. I love advertising because it's like it's a sect of like humanity and what we thought was important for that moment in time. So you go back to like old magazines like from the 70s and look at their car ads and their bicycle ads and stuff. And like just what priorities are important really come forward. Because you go back to the 40s, then you get tapeworm ads for like dieting. Like, well, that's a little different. And cigarettes, yeah. Then you have the Flintstones talking about like buying a Carolina cigarette or whatever. Nothing quite as smooth as a thanks, Fred. And they're both smoking it up. And like, okay,
cool. It's kind of crazy, yeah. Like moments in time.
So Snapchat, right. Which is also, it seems pointless at first, and you're gonna like when I just uploaded to Snapchat because it was I just wanted to see, and I did it for like several months with like no traction, but I had one video get like 100,000 views, and I'm like, what? And then it just kind of kept happening, and so I get like Snapchat every so often, I get like 500,000 views suddenly from their spotlight feature. And no one even thinks about Snapchat. No one even talks about Snapchat being in the game. But getting 500,000 people is like those serial commercial ads. You just get it out there. And so then what I'm hoping, like, you ever like you're on YouTube and like, oh, what was that one game I played a long time ago? Oh, let me look that up on YouTube. So what I'm hoping is that people on Snapchat like, oh, that was a fun video. And then weeks go by and like, what was that Sonic video, The Sopranos, which is what went up today. And like, what's going to come up? Well, my Snapchat's not going to come up because you can't look up Snapchat on Google, but my YouTube is going to come up,
Ooh.
which has all the money on it. So it's like, get your name out there. And then like, hopefully in a couple months, they'll naturally find your stuff. And you know what? I had a lot of interaction from asking people to follow my YouTube on Snapchat. Like usually getting people to act on like links and stuff for social media is a waste. You'll get like one person. Mm-hmm. Like I have like 15,000 people on Instagram, and I can get like 3 people to come into my Twitch maybe. But on Snapchat, I was like, hey guys, my subs on YouTube suck and I want to feel better about myself. Could you follow me on YouTube? I literally said that. I was like, hey guys, can you help boost my ego and follow me on YouTube? And then I got 30 subs like immediately.
That's awesome.
From Snapchat.
Dude, wow. Okay, I'm gonna download all this information, and
it's a pain in the ass, and you will not see results right away. So it's the everything unhumanity. It's everything humans hate.
Well, I look at it like I look at it's work essentially. That's what you're working, and it's like if you're at a day job, whatever. It's like every day is just minuscule little things that you do every day. And yeah, they're boring and they suck. They're not monumental. But but you're doing something for the whole. And so like one little thing that you've been doing this whole time, like cleaning the counters, or something like that. Like, you're just cleaning the counters just because you're not even thinking about it and it's boring and it sucks. But like, if you don't do that, then things just pile up and it looks
they get
like
dirty.
They get dirty. It looks like shit. So it's like, that's how I kind of view like that sort of like,
the only reason I get kind of passionate about this is I'm friends with a lot of creators who like what do you want? And like, I really want to be a YouTuber. And like, okay, well, you have to like upload this and you have to do shorts and you have to do the TikTok thing. And then like, well, that's a lot of work. And like, well, yeah, you just wanted just to like apparate. And so all these creators that like then a week later, like, oh, my YouTube video isn't doing well. I'm like, well, did you upload like clips to TikTok? Did you upload clips to YouTube Shorts? Well, no. And like, you didn't upload anything to the biggest app in the market right now, and you're wondering why your video isn't doing well?
Yeah. Yeah. I get the same way. I mean, I get it. Like, it is a lot of work. And a lot of people say, oh, you're just posting stuff on your phone. And it's like, no, it's actually work.
It's like 15, 30 minutes a day of just tick, tick, tick. And you can't use the thing that posts it to everything because it doesn't, the app likes it when you post through it more than a third party.
I know. I learned that in old Facebook days. You can't Facebook didn't like, using YouTube links. So I would have to post, I have to upload the full video to Facebook, and then I have to upload the full video to YouTube, and then I have to upload half the video to Instagram, and then I got to
it's like 30 minutes every day of like mindless gobbledygook. Yeah, it's disaster. But then, on Instagram, I'll get on Reels. I saw that your Reels are like 300, 100, which isn't like amazing, but that's still good because Instagram is a completely different market than TikTok.
Yeah.
So you're getting your name out there, which is awesome. But Instagram lags. Instagram, you'll upload something and a week later, that week-old video will take off. So I just had something recently get to like 100,000 views, but out of nowhere, it sat there and didn't do anything for like a week, and then all of a sudden, like, you have the max notifications we can display right now, and I'm like, okay, let me see.
Something's happening, unbeknownst to me.
So Pinterest is the same way, but I think you're like, you had one thing where it's like Instagram sucks, and Instagram does suck. Instagram is if they've got bots, they've got their whole every day I get an alert that's in my notifications like, oh, you should open up a shop, and I'm like, of what?
The latest the latest Instagram thing that I've been getting, and my wife too, actually. We're getting emails now that so and so wants to follow you. So and so wants to follow you. So and so wants to follow you. It's like, well, then let them follow me. What, like, it's my account.
Do you have
private?
Like, no, you don't have to approve people to follow you. That's weird.
Yeah, it's weird. Yeah, so it's spam. It's just spam. It's just another form of,
sucks.
Click the link and whatever. But dude,
I'm getting so big now that I'm getting people like, hey, we are company that wants to sponsor you, and I'm like, okay, what do you? I actually got like, so it's like, okay, we want you to create a custom 30-second animation for us, and we will give you $50. So the going rate for animation is a little higher.
Just a little higher than that. Just a bit.
So I was like, cool.
Not
right now.
Actually, I do want to get into this before I gotta get going here in a little bit. But like,
sure.
You also do commissions.
Yeah.
So tell me how that
nobody buys
that works. I'm just saying, like, because I might commission you a few things. Like, hey,
okay,
you know,
I do commissions, and I try to price it for the everyman. There's like the professional market where it's like thousands of dollars, but I'm not in that world. So I have like the general like everyman commissions, and on Brinnstar.com is like my prices and what I do, and you can buy it like just an online store or something. There's just buttons that's like, this is $35, this is $30. I actually used that picture I drew of you in a car as like an example for one of the things.
Nice. I appreciate that. That was awesome, by the way. That was really cool. Like, yes.
Yeah, no, I
awesome.
I like doing art for kind of smaller content creators, because most artists don't draw fan art unless it serves them. Like Peanut Butter Gamer or like PewDiePie will get way more interaction than like the small streamer. But
that's really nice.
The small streamer deserves the art.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, I like to kind of like give the streamer like something like, oh, no one has drawn stuff for me before.
Yeah,
this is neat.
It's really cool. Like I was so happy. I was like, oh man, like, because that's
cool.
not just that's nothing.
Like,
that's
like nobody knew a lot of my audience didn't really know who you were, but now they do, and that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I really appreciate it, and not only that, because like that's so, like a super nice thing to do for somebody, because that takes time. That takes time and effort. Yeah. Like, I mean, it's not like you spent like a whole week doing my thing. It's just kind of but it was just a nice thing. It was just something that was unexpected. Well,
I like
really nice.
I don't know. I like doing nice things for people, and I feel like your content deserves that. It's sort of like rewards. Just, I don't know, at the time you get to like 100,000 followers and people are just kissing your ass with art and stuff, at some point art will like Jane Animations, great animator, amazing person. I don't know her in real life, but I would like to wink. And but the end of her videos has like a long, just a scrolling wheel of fan art. There's just tons of it, and at some point like it kind of like devalues all of it. But so now as a small creator, you can like get one thing and like, oh, neat, I like this is cool.
Yeah,
I'm just going off about nothing.
I mean, yeah, when I think it's just inevitable when, if you get to a certain level of notoriety, it's just inevitable that some people will get lost in the shuffle, because now you're in this level of, okay, now I have to do this, now I have to do this, now I have to, now you're over here, and it's easy to like get lost in that sort of thing, because you're essentially making it at that point. And it's so like, I'm trying to learn to appreciate this time right now. I'm not saying it's inevitable that I'll make it or anything. I'm just saying that, like,
well, there's a different user experience from talking to 5 people on Twitch versus like 50, where the chat is garbage and you can't read and everything. So
right.
No, I agree. What did you want to? I'm sorry. You said my commission.
Oh yeah, yeah. I noticed that you do commissions. So like, has that done very well? Like, what would you do as far, like, give me an example of, like, does someone say, hey, can you draw me a logo, or can you draw me a shirt or something like that? Is that how it works?
Yeah.
Okay.
It would be kind of different if someone wanted to sell like merchandise, well, unless I knew, like, if you specifically wanted a logo or a shirt, I would do it, and I wouldn't be weird about the licensing stuff. But if like random people that I don't know come in and they want to resell my artwork, there would be an upcharge because they're making money off of my stuff versus just like,
because that was actually my next question is what do you license it? Like it is your pen, so it's like how does that all work?
I for like a company, I would just give them a charge, and it would be dual licenseship.
Nailed it.
Dual ownership. It would be like joint custody of. I would get the art on Mondays and Fridays, and then
you just have it on the weekends.
No, it'd be they would own it. They could do whatever they want with it, and they could sell it and go crazy. But I would own it. I have legal right to like show it off, not sell it, but put it as like I made this.
Oh, nice.
But I wouldn't sell it. I wouldn't have any reason to. But I would be like, yes, I did this Pepsi logo, and Pepsi is like, cool. I mean, that would be neat, but but a lot of my commissions have been like they just want like someone has a character and they want to see what it looks like in my style versus like selling it. And if I'm being really honest, business has been garbage.
But hey, I mean, you have the option like that. That's still pretty cool.
So, but if you want art for like merch or something, I'm down, and I'll just the regular rate. I'm not going to upcharge you the licensing fee. You can just.
I might take you up on that. I'm very might take you up on that eventually. But hey, I got to get going here. Brinnstar, thank you so much for being on this podcast. It's been a pleasure to actually sit down
having me.
Yeah, and talk with you and pick your brain a bit about your world and your content and just I love it. I have a new friend now. See, this is fun. I love it. Yay, new friendships. It was
really cool. Like it's really a big honor. I really appreciate it. I love your work. I'm a huge fan of your stuff. Being invited was kind of like, I'm like, okay, just don't fangirl out and you'll be fine.
Well, I appreciate that. You're boosting my ego a little bit here, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
But you can follow him on Twitch, on YouTube, on Instagram, on Snapchat, on TikTok. Brinnstar, he's everywhere. He does commissions. Get so there you go. That is a thing. Dude.
I'm also on Spotify.
Spotify. How could I forget? Yes, he has an album.
I got a grand total of $5 from my label the other day, and I was like, yay.
Just we're all just doing very good.
I'm a professional musician now.
Oh man. But yeah, I appreciate it, man. It has been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Y'all have a good one. I will see you later.